Okay. Wait for the live stream to go on. Okay. Live stream going on. Okay. Let's call the Hampton Town Board meeting to order. Please rise to the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In case of fire emergency, the three exit room there, in case of such emergency, please go to the nearest exit to the building and get as far away from the building as the rescue squad, emergency squad, and the first responders to do their job. Thank you very much. So, first order of business is we have one memorial of sad death. Holly Ross, she's 33 years old, passed away. So I would ask you to take a few minutes to remember her in your own way. Thank you. Thank you. I will entertain a resolution to adopt the minutes as mailed.
I'll make a resolution.
Second.
Okay. Any omissions, corrections?
We'll find that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so Don is on Zoom.
Mrs. A's on Zoom and Henry's on Zoom.
Anybody else? No.
We have Lieutenant Kristen Hardy. Lieutenant Kristen Hardy from the Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff has established a liaison between Hampton and the Sheriff's Office in order to provide good correspondence and discussion between the town board, the town supervisor, and to help if we have issues to get a hold of her and talk to each other, communicate. Kristen was just appointed about 3 weeks ago. I think it was, Kristen?
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks. Hi guys, I'm Lieutenant Kristen Hardy with the Sheriff's Office, and we really established this program in all of the townships within Washington County to create a easy way to communicate with people that may have concerns or compliments or anything that they want addressed by the Sheriff's Office. So I am the assigned Town of Hampton liaison. So I can add in the chat feature some direct contact information for myself. And certainly if you guys have any concerns, anything that we can help out with or address, I can certainly be that direct contact and forward it to our patrols and the rest of our admin team.
Okay. And that's good. I know that Monday night, the formation of the Hampton Neighborhood Watch had their second meeting. Kristen had some discussions with Richard, but the sheriff himself came on Monday and had a good discussion. So the sheriff happened to mention how he felt it went.
Yeah, Sheriff Murphy was excited to talk to the group and thought that it went well. And certainly if there's anything that you need as a non-emergency situation, feel free to reach out to me. And of course, if there's anything that's occurring actively, you can always call 911, or we have a non-emergency number as well where a patrol will be sent.
Okay. So, Kristen, one of the questions came up at the Neighborhood Watch after the sheriff left. There was a question about citizens arrest, and could the Neighborhood Watch detain people, and what would the repercussions be if they did or didn't, or potential repercussions or benefits to the sheriff's office?
Sure. So legally, there's some situations where you can certainly affect a citizen's arrest. We would encourage, you know, in the situation to think about the details of the incident. The best situation would be if you could obtain as many details or information or a great description of the person or vehicle and provide that to us and allow us to follow up. But of course, if there's instances where that, you know, if it's a physical contact or something of that nature, there's just other things that you have to think about down the road, like concerns with injuries of the subject, any kind of civil liability afterwards, things of that nature as a citizen you might be concerned with.
I know that we've had some incidents with recurring incidents with at least one person, if not two, maybe three. And I know that some of them were arrested. They were arrested. They found guns on their property, guns in their cars. How would the sheriff handle that? Or deputy handle that? I mean, that's a dangerous situation.
Yeah, certainly. I'm not sure if we're talking about the same incident, if it was a parole situation, but we are certainly handle all incidents like that, you know, carefully, tactfully. I know we had a couple ongoing cases that are still pending, so I'm not sure if one of those is one of the open investigations that we currently still have.
What advice would you give to the neighborhood watch or any individual who tries to approach people by themselves and not knowing what the situation is?
Certainly concerned with safety concerns. That's why we would encourage you to call law enforcement. I know the sheriff was reaching out to also get some further guidance on some other counties and townships that have an active neighborhood watch program. So once we obtain that information, I can certainly pass that along. Some other successful programs that are up and running in other counties. So we can certainly try to guide you guys as well with that information. There's also some national resources that can assist in the neighborhood watch program as well.
Richard?
Lieutenant Hardy, Richard Cole, do you have any updates on the TikTok threats to schools that was made regarding tomorrow?
I don't have any direct updates. We have, I'm sure as a lot of you have seen in the news, it's a national, they're seeing this all around the country. No specific threats to a particular school within Washington County, but we're certainly have been active. Our investigative unit has been active all day with following up with districts that had concerns. And at this point, nothing credible within our county, but we certainly have stepped up resources and awareness for our patrols to be present and around schools.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else have questions for Lieutenant Hardy? I do know that in January the 5th, we'll be sending 7 new deputies to class. The deputies, we've had problems. Lieutenant Hardy probably has heard about and experiences that we have a shortage of people because we hire people, we train them. And this is the town levels and the county levels. Hire people, train them, and they're snapped away by state troopers. Starting pay is about $100,000 a year. So, you know, it's hard to compete with that. I know that Whitehall and certainly with Granville had the same issue. We had people trained, they left, went on to other places, City of Glens Falls, town of Manchester, Vermont. So it's hard to retain people. When we put them through the course, and the course I think is $40,000 a person, is that if the towns are generally 1 to 2 year commitments to stay. I think the sheriff says 3 years in at the sheriff department. Is that true?
Yes. Yep. They have a 3-year commitment. And you're correct, it's a lot of resources, money, time to send a new hire to the academy and train them.
So, I mean, they're trying, and hope to get, problem is, it takes, what, 6 months, they won't be out of the academy until at least July?
Correct, and then they go through an FTO period as well. So it will probably be August, I believe, until they're available and ready for patrol.
Any other questions, Lieutenant Hardy? Comments?
Well, thank you for your time. And, you have all our contact information if we need to get an email to her, Dave.
Yep.
Thank you.
That's not the-
And I'll add my email and direct line in the chat as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Permits and subdivisions, we have none. Cam's just firing right up, waiting for me to bring the bills tomorrow.
Yep, I'm getting calls and letters and where to send bills, so I'm ready.
On that note, I just got the tax rates for the tax rates for 2000. The tax rates for 2021 or 22, I'm sorry. The county rate is 656. That's a drop of 76 cents per thousand. Contract town-wide rate was 454,000. That was a drop from 472,000. Fire protection district rate was a drop of 10 cents per thousand. In fire district 1 and fire district 2 was, I think, a 7 cent decrease. So doing the assessment certainly brought some properties back into line and helped with the tax rates and overall taxes in Hampton, so that was a good thing. I've got a copy if you want to see it. Dr. Phil last report. He had a complaint received regarding continuous barking dogs and running at large into neighbors' properties on Hillspan Road. He served tickets there the day after there were visitors there for other reasons. They issued a Pierce ticket for court. I don't know if they showed up, but I thought they were supposed to come tonight, but I don't know for sure. Yeah, court date was 12/9/2021. It was last week. Okay. You know if they showed up last week, not that, or?
Yes, they did.
Okay. Another complaint was code enforcement up there. Code enforcement is paying a call to them. To look at what they can do to clean up the property. The property keeps on going down. They have always made, code enforcement's made multiple trips up over the years, so it's familiar with the place. There are 5 families that own the property, and I think it was confusing the other night when we were talking about it. There is really only one family resident that we've had a lot of problems with. It's been ongoing for a long time. So the other 4, I want to make sure people understand, the other 4 are good citizens for the most part. I maybe had a couple dog complaints about some of them, but that's not a big deal. Within that, as soon as you talk to them, they took care of everything, but there is one house there that has always caused problems. Most Hampton residents will know. So I just wanted to clear that up, make sure people knew that. So. And he says, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Vincent vouchers for mileage. Planning board report.
I have finally put something in the bulletin board up in Hampton at the fire station. I have a heading that just says Hampton Town News. Becky gave me the printout for the closing of the books and the opening of the new one. So both of those notices are up there. I also created a whole list of everyone that has some function with the town, with everybody. So now all the planning board members are there. Everybody, highway, everything is on one whole great big long sheet. So that if anyone needs to contact me, they have my email and my phone number, along with all of you people and everything. So we're going to be using that bulletin board to put, when we're gonna do the survey, I'm gonna make a big thing that's gonna go on there. The heading right now is in 100 in a font size, so it's gonna have to be like 150 to get it big enough to be seen. But that works nice. That works nice, opening that up and getting everything on there. So from now on, I can always, whenever you're doing something for out there, I'll put the stuff up there. And then I'll make sure that everybody around me that I run into, I let them know that it's there for them to stop and look at. Our planning board meeting was December 8th. The mobile home replacement law is with my members of the planning board right now. They're reading through it all, making any notations if anything they see that might need to be corrected. And so I hope next week I can send this off to John Graham at the county. So at county code, he can see if there's anything there that doesn't jive with what they do. And then I'll send it on to Matt Fuller, because I really want to get that out of my hands. At our planning board meeting, Nan Stoltenberg was the person who facilitated that part. We had a Zoom meeting and we went through the survey that has been put together now. And it's going to be in 3 sections because we want to be able to get a survey part from people who are just residents who aren't involved in farming, people who are farmers with their own farmland and a farm operation, and also for people who farm on other people's property. So that part, we hope to have all that ready to go at the end of January. We're going to be doing as much outreach as we can through every means we know, to see if we can really push getting a lot more people to respond. I did talk to Austin Crozier down at the Granville Sentinel, and he is going to be very nice to write 2 different articles for us on what we are trying to accomplish, what we're trying to do to come out the 3rd and the 4th weeks of January. So I said, finally, maybe Hampton will have their name in there. They'll know Hampton exists. But he's very good and very interested in what we're trying to do and create a vision for agriculture in Hampton. Is there anything else that I wanted to say here? No, so we're just looking at getting all that done because there'll be a postcard, there'll be the survey. We're going to put up signage. We're going to just do everything we can, send out an email blast. And right now, what I am doing, Nan just sent me, we're going to be sending out just some information to those farmers who are at our farmers group that got together. And so there's some mapping things that she wanted me to send out to them, and just a thing to kind of let them know we're working on this, and have happy holidays, and we'll be in touch with them after the holidays. So that's where we're at.
Okay.
And Becky, what?
Don?
I've got 2 quick things if possible.
Yeah,
Dave, I left an envelope on your desk with correspondence to the ag law.
Mhm.
And Bonnie, if you get me dimensions on how big you want the sign and what you want it to say, I will have that created at work, and we can get that put up so you don't have to try to stretch fonts and all that stuff.
thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.
No, Becky wants one too.
Well, we
That's
had,
fine. It's easy to hit the print button twice.
Well, if you hit it 3 times, 4 times, you're gonna get backup, so.
I can do that as well.
So Becky puts it over her door at the house.
All it is paper and ink.
Okay, thank you, Don.
can I
Yep.
send you a copy of the legal notice that I have posted,
Yeah,
here for that board?
yeah,
Email it? to you?
yeah, you can email it to me.
Okay, and then we'll do a bigger thing with the hours because it's in it, but they don't.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, there's one thing I forgot, there was a couple other houses that were mentioned. One on South Road, we all know the red house there. That is signed, I'll have to look at it again, and that's code enforcement, look at it. Without going to court, there's no way we can make them tear it down. I'm trying to work with code enforcement officers, see if we can find a way to get them to at least button that up. Or maybe suggesting maybe it's a good activity for local fire department to practice on. But, this whole park's gotten a lot worse lately, so. But the other house on 21, I mean, that's not much you can do. You know, if I'm to take care of it, that's all we can do. So. All right, highway superintendent's report. This is gonna be the last one.
We got our first plowable snow, and we had a standard problem right off the bat, 2009 International. Seemed that a plug had fallen off the pump motor and was spewing hydraulic oil out. We were able to get it fixed and everything is back working again. During the snow, we had some calls on trees down the road, wires down on South Road. South Road had to be closed for the wires in the road because the power company inspector had to come out and clean them up and were unable to plow it. The power company finally came out the next evening I say, and had gotten their lines out. Tyler went out Sunday and plowed and sanded the roads. Joe Williams came in to service the furnace, found a crack in it. He did a temporary fix to it, but it will have to be replaced. In the meantime, since he's found the furnace and we're just waiting for him to install it. We had to do some repairs to the sand screener. It's in really bad shape. It needs a lot more repair work. But Pony has one they're not using and going to sell it to us. The men have been filling potholes and cleaning up roadside brush.
Okay. And well, we hope not, it's probably gonna be storming Saturday.
They're talking 2 to 4 inches of snow on Saturday.
That's right. I heard 6 to 8, I heard 8 and above, then I heard 6 to 8.
Wow. It is a democratic state, you know. You just stop during the night and change.
Yeah.
One thing I will want to say is this is my last meeting as a highway superintendent. I want to thank the board, the past board, the present board for the years of, going through and listening to me and all the complaints that I have and paying all my bills. I want to thank, where is it? Artie? Artie was my first partner when I was on the town board, Artie and Dave Perry. And then from there, I went to the highway superintendent. Just thank you all for everything you've done. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you for what you do. We're working on getting a flax made for you in India. Thank you. Small token, we appreciate you for what you've done.
Hey, I didn't ever go over a budget. That's one thing I will say.
Yeah, so we will continue on that. Don, how'd you get out in the fresh air?
What's that?
How'd you get out in the fresh air and the green grass?
That's where I like to sit in the summertime.
Yeah,
I figured it's better than what's out there. It's almost comparable now. I mean, just no leaves and a little bit of brown grass, that's all. Temperatures are about the same.
we'll see. So any questions for Herb on his report or anything?
No.
Okay. Again, I want to thank you for everything, Herb. It's been an interesting 10 years or 12 years, whatever it was.
It's been fun, but I've got some issues that I need to straighten out and it's getting hard to walk.
Okay, well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
We'll be seeing you around.
Oh, yeah. I'll be staying.
Thank you, Herb.
Thank you. I'll be throwing the snow back in the road.
Take your mailbox out after the first of the year.
Oh, while you're here, the receipts for oil or diesel that are delivered down there, can we get a mailbox and put
There,
it
we just
on?
pull it,
Yeah, there's one there. They still don't.
they still use it.
Wherever. What-
I don't know what says fuel receipts go here, they don't understand.
Well, maybe if you tell them we're not gonna pay their bill anymore, they'll understand that.
Maybe
Because
they'll
the
understand.
auditors are
Put
gonna
fuel
get.
slips here.
Mhm.
I mean, it's got arrows and I don't know, Jimmy put a nice little,
We're gonna put an orange light on it.
pretty, real pretty.
How about a flashing light?
Yeah, because, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Maybe I'll call me Kim tomorrow. Because the lady's great about emailing them to me. Maybe I can say, you know, maybe you gotta tell your driver to leave them where you're not gonna get paid.
Mhm.
They're nice people over there, I think they probably, well, they seem to be nice. They weren't happy with us on an emergency call, we were out of fuel, just so you know.
Oh.
No. They called and said, you have 241 gallons, and I was like, oh, okay. Cause Jimmy had a little spit sputter there, and he thought, oh, we're out of fuel, he never checked the tank.
Yeah, it's Jim.
And it was spit sputter. So we're full now, we're good.
Okay. Supervisory report you have in front of you. County updates, the county budget came in with 0% increase this year, thanks to the money from ARPA funds and different funds that we got. There was less spent because of restrictions on travel, restrictions on other things, so there was some money saved in that, so that was good news, but the ARPA funds really helped out, because we reimbursed a lot of what we spent for gear, for protective stuff, for cleaning up, and cleaning up was a huge issue. Plus, we got lost revenue that made up a lot, so that was really good too. So we were able to help the budget by taking the money that we're using earmarked for capital funds to replace some county barns, which I think 5 out of 6 need to be replaced. There's 2 really bad, so we're using money from the ARPA funds to replace those, help replace those barns as we keep on moving forward. So that also helped, because you need to put less in the budget for capital expenditures. So we had a couple of questions on the supervisory report. I'll get the answers to there, because I think, I'm not sure it's correct, but I'll look at it. Okay. Old business, internet here has been very bad lately. I called to look and see to upgrade internet and to package the phones together. We are currently paying $104 in phone service and 60 some odd dollars in internet. So that's about $170 to replace 2 of the lines, and the internet would be about the same, about $170. We have had a problem with the phone over in the garage, because we do the internet back and forth, it runs off internet. So I talked to Tyler about potential of getting a cell phone to use and get the phone number and cell phone. That would be about $30 a month. But we have to buy a cell phone, and so looking at what the price of the cell phones are. But it would be better if they have it so they can travel with it. So if they're on the road or something, someone calls in, they can answer the phone, or whoever's there can answer the phone. But I would think that'd be a good idea. It's a little more money, but I think that we help the highway department get better calls. In terms of that, our other issue that we could potentially do is to dig a trench and put cable underneath the road, but then get in the garage and you have wiring issues there too. So it doesn't matter. We still, if we brought that line over to Spectrum, with the others, it'd be another $30 a month. So it's probably going to be about a break even for the cell phone, except for the purchase. So that's my suggestion. Tyler, what do you think? You're the person who's going to be answering
You basically will.
it. Out of your budget.
There's pluses to it, we gotta have something better, because we just got a call from the guy the other day and said he's called here 5-6 times and he's not getting through. So we'll play with the thing on the wall, we can get phone calls again. So internet, everything's horrible there, so it's very hard doing it. So, I mean, the cell phone thing is an option. There's pluses and minuses to that, but mostly pluses, I believe.
gonna say, they still make flip phones. They're
I'm-
like $60.
I'm happy with, I'd like to go back to a flip phone myself.
But you can drop them and they don't work.
Yeah,
And then I pay $20 a month.
Yeah,
And I bought the phone for
I can get
$60.
a hold of you for the warranty on that truck.
huh?
Extended warranty on that.
Well, the benefit of the cell phones, is like the benefit of the cell phone, yes, I see that flip phone. You know what your cell phone number is?
No.
You know what your cell phone number is?
Yep.
The old one or the new one?
Retro.
The new one. There's been a lot of communication goes back and forth between the counties and different places and texting, so it should have text capability. I know that Jimmy Hogan uses a lot when he calls, and when he gets old and he texts me a lot, any questions he's got.
You can text them, it just takes a while, right? See?
One plus side to a cell phone that goes to the town is now with our newer trucks being all computerized. I could set that Western Star up to where I get emails, so if that truck has a problem, it'll automatically go to Tracy Door Equipment, they'll diagnose it from there, it goes back to that phone. Whether that's important for us right now, gonna be, because I can't diagnose that truck. It's not a mechanical truck. You can say, oh, I hear this noise or I feel this. I know I can drive that truck. With a computer and that computer telling it, do different things. We ran into that last year with a breakdown with it. I don't have that judgment to say, okay, this truck's good enough to get through the storm without hurting something else, because even though it's something I know won't, if that computer's telling it to do something different. Ford and I just spoke with them and they put a hurt on a transmission and it had nothing to do with the operator saying to keep going with the truck. The truck would have been fine. The computer threw another code that flashed it. And what it did is it put a strain on the, some check valves, and it wound up being a pretty expensive thing. So this, Tracy can say, hey, that truck, that valve is bad, but you can get through this storm, get through whatever, get a truck to us. Or, hey, you need to shut that thing down. Because with all this computer stuff, that check engine light might come on because you don't want a windshield washer fluid. I'm not kidding. Anything. So there is a plus to that with the technology standpoint of it. It just says it wouldn't be a cell phone we could get rigged up to that with our newer trucks. And
That sounds like the reasonable option. Our coverage pretty good. My cell phone works most places. Can't from that, I don't know.
Mine works and AT&T works in most places in Hampton.
I'm not saying anything. I ain't got an excuse when I answer the phone.
So who's
It's got service.
we gotta fix it. We're gonna improve it. Who's got that for action? Who's gonna look into the phone?
I'm looking at it.
Okay.
If I go in one of these days, don't have to wait in line.
Okay, that's fine. It's,
That day's not
sure
coming.
someone's looking into it, so we just.
I hate going getting the phone because it's 4 hours out of your life.
Well, I wanted to turn a box in it. I get in there and some guy, I wait there 10 minutes, and somebody says, I've been here an hour. And I'm third in line. I said, that's it, I'm leaving. So we'll see. I'll look into it. Okay. New business. Okay. We need to set any audits. Schedule them.
Table.
I need a motion
So it's
to
like,
I'll
Okay.
make a motion.
make most to accept the supervisor's report, but Kenny,
With the caveat that we're gonna answer the question second.
second by Mike. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Semi-annual audits, semi-annual audits. I'm signing Patricia and Sadie to the budget officer, and Dean and Tara to the town clerk and tax collector. So you teams get together and contact Kim or Becky to figure out when it's convenient for you guys to do them. I will take care of the judge.
Good luck.
That's
sucked.
that's separate.
She sucked. I want to do her on January 1st.
That sounded worse.
That didn't come out right. So I'd like to schedule it for January 1st. Then we'll make it probably about the 10th. So anyhow, that's what we want to do. Okay. Any other public council comments? The meeting in 2 weeks, at 7 o'clock?
30.
7:30?
7:30.
Okay,
30.
30. Does she have court that night or not? Yes.
What night is it again?
The 30th is Thursday.
Still have court, but she'll be done by 7.
Okay, good, thank you. And then organization meeting is on the 2nd, 3rd? Yeah, 7:30, okay. Well, just a reminder. Go from there. No other public council comments? Okay, you to pay the bills.
Make a resolution that we pay the bills.
Motion by Tammy, pay the bills, what, second?
I'll second that.
I'll second it. 30.
Third by Mr. Sadie. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Hey, Dave, one more thing. Are we looking for a fuel tank with this, the storage, confinement for the leaks for the diesel and stuff down below?
Yeah, it's something we're gonna use, we try to use our ARPA funds for, we're getting in July.
Mhm.
So hopefully Tyler can start looking at something and get prices, so what we need.
Can we get specs on what the containment unit has to be? Because I've seen a couple of them out there in the $1,000 range, 500-gallon fuel tank, but it looks like it's a concrete containment tank, and I'm not sure if that's legal, if it has to be poly or if it can be concrete.
If it's poly, it has to be double walled, I believe, it has to be twice the containment of your tank, so if you got 500, you got 1,000 gallons.
Yep.
Containment, there's some other rules and regulations I'm working with, Phil Spezio on.
Mhm.
I think just to touch base here, we're gonna focus mainly only on diesel or having diesel on hand here.
Yep.
We looked into gas, and we're looking at a $40,000 to $50,000 option. And the problem is with gas on site, we need water suppression of so many gallons. So we either have a lot of money with a holding tank, or we have to have a well on site. So with that much money being invested, by the time we see a return of holding our own gas on site, we'll probably be into the next years of new regulations. I don't think it's gonna be worth it on that end. So, but we're looking into it, so.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure if it could be put up here by the town hall where we do have water, we have a well. But I'm just seeing 2 or 3 of them out there that have, at least, I'm gonna guess, looking at this one, it doesn't have the containment size. It is a concrete, concrete container that it's in, and it looks like it holds about 700 gallons of fuel, so. Comes with a pump. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's gonna be something to at least look at. If we can do it for $1,000 instead of, 20 grand, it'd be a hell of a lot better, as long as it meets the specs.
We have to work with New York State specs, and Tyler's looking into those.
Yeah, well, we're working with Phil right now to see what our options are. I don't think the diesel is really gonna break us. It's the gas, and I'll get some kind of quotes on that so you guys can see. So within the next month, I can give you guys a little bit more of an idea of what's going on.
Sounds good.
Well, if you look at the gas bills, they run about $300 a month, so it's about $3,600 a year just for the gas. It's gonna take a long time to recoup that money. We would probably save about 20 or 30 cents a gallon if we did the containment, but it's not really a big savings when you're talking about an expenditure of $5,000 or $10,000 for containment tank for gas.
I do believe Phil told me that I don't think it's gone completely in effect yet, but we probably want is a double line tank which is, it's expensive. And then we have to have proper containment. I believe if it's concrete, all we have to do is seal the inside, and it's considered, so you could like go to Doran's or anything else that have a container like a septic tank, and that's acceptable. Why a lot of guys aren't using that, they move the tank or future down the road, it's a lot harder, rather if you got a poly. And we have to look into that too, if this is, you know, set in stone, this thing's gonna be staying there, I'd rather have concrete. That just doubles our safety factor. You know, if it gets back into it, you're not gonna break concrete, poly breaks, so we're looking into it.
Okay. Good. Anything else? All right, then, motion to adjourn,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
motion by Mike. Pardon? Motion by Mike, second by Tammy. All in favor?
Aye.
Andy, we'll see you for your last meeting on the 30th. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sign it. That one, I gotta do the two,
Did you send it to Supervisor?
I did, yes, I will, because I didn't want to sign it until
we had that one question.
I know the tractor trailer thing.
I approved it.
I know one line item, I didn't understand.
Yeah,
You got to
it's straight on, yeah. That was scary one with the loader the other day. Sitting around in the car.
Andy, you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay.